So that's a very 80s background we have there with the galaxy and the grids converging and a light flash in the distance. What's up, guys? Dimebot here, and today let's talk about Dropship Down. This game is in early access, so let's have a little bit of a look here. We've got full screen on or off. We've got a decent amount of resolution options, all the way up to 3840 by 2160. Screen space AO, bloom quality, anti-aliasing, which is SMAA. We've got shadows, we've got hard shadows, texture settings. Not bad, especially considering this is a 2D, well, 2.5D, I guess you could say, although I hate that term. It is a top-down twin-stick shooter with 3D models. We've got separate sliders for literally everything. These are how they came. I haven't messed with them at all, so kind of weird. You can enable gamepad support. We will see if this works. Virtual cursor speed, camera elasticity, and then here's your controls. This is not a bad game as far as the options menu goes. I mean, especially considering what it is. It's got a nice little how to play menu. The one thing I will say is the menus need to go away when you click on one. It's trying very hard to crash here. And it is multiplayer. Let's give it a shot. We're just going to start with Desert Canyon. It's the only level available right now because it's early access. They are working on another one. We'll see if it wants to work with my controller. If not, no big deal. I do have some nitpicks with this game. I'm not going to be as awful and mean as I could be because it's early access, but I mean, I still do have a few nitpicks, and we'll talk about those. Okay, so the controller, for one, is not working. Neither are my keyboard and mouse controls. This is going to be a very short run. Bug number one, problem number one. No controller support that works for me. This may not be may not be their fault. But it's still a little aggravating. I'm starting to see why the music was turned down to 10%. So this is me. You'll notice that I have a red bar. That is my weapon heat. There is no ammo. I have a blue bar. That's your shields. And I have a green bar. That's your health. You'll also notice this game dropping frames, which it does a lot for some reason with two GTX 1080s. It is a top-down shooter, so I don't understand why it has such frame rate problems, but early access. So over on the right, you have some inventory slots, and when you beat a level, you get a perk. I'm going to go with 20% more credits from kills. And you can come over here and try to buy something. I don't have enough cash for that. Cash is displayed down there. Actually, I believe that one is cash. But we do have a machine gun turret. Let's put that down. So, there is no story to this game that I can see. Maybe they haven't written it yet, but basically it's a wave defense shooter. You can play with friends and you kill bugs. Giant extraterrestrial alien bugs. People with arachnophobia, this is not the game for you. You're not going to like it. It's all spiders and spider-looking things. It does have an interesting variety of power-ups. Can we buy something? No! No, we can't. I don't like this camera elasticity thing. I'm going to have to play with a little. Fortunately, there's a option to mess with it, but it's... You see how the screen kind of bounces around a little bit? Every wave pretty much... Here go the frame rate problems again. Every wave pretty much will introduce you to a new type of bug, which I like. Keeps the variety up, and gradually more and more of them show up. And you can use your things like a grenade, which I can throw right there, using my targeter and 2 button. I would think this game would be a lot easier to play on a controller, but since mine won't work, that's kind of a moot point. But twin sticks usually are a lot easier to play in a controller. Let's Can we buy something? We can buy a submachine gun. That seems nice. So now I have 2 weapons, which is nice. And now we had the purple bugs. So let's talk about complaints with this game. It's not that great looking. I mean, it looks okay, but it's certainly nothing special. I mean, the environments are alright. The bugs have, you know, decent little animations. They're not hideous, but it's nothing really special. And it's another in a kind of a genre that I'm a little sick of, which is the twin stick wave-based shooter. But there's nothing really terrible about its presentation. The music is generic, your character's generic, the enemies are generic, the levels are generic. I mean, it's competent. Hello. As with most games like this, shotguns are stupidly overpowered. I will say I am impressed by the enemy variety, not in terms of design, although some of the designs are cool and some are just very generic. But in terms of, you know, toughness attacks, there's just a lot you have to keep an eye on. And if the computer, the enemy AI, was a little smarter, it might make the game actually really challenging. Now, I haven't played it with friends because none of my friends have the game, but obviously, as with any game of this type, I imagine it's much harder. In multiplayer. Let's double our health. I want to save up for something like really nice, like a tachyon lance or a heavy machine gun. That sounds awesome. Weapon variety is something I will give them. Visually, it's a high point. I haven't been able to tell that they do anything besides raw damage. There's not really any other unique things that you have to worry about. What I was saying about the AI is, it's pretty dumb. All you really have to do is walk backwards and press the fire button. Everything will kite around with you, and it's not that hard. You have a handy map down there to, you know, keep track, but yeah, it's an early access game. There's nothing outstandingly special about it. Fast Forward has a lot of time to work on it, though. I think they're coming out sometime this autumn, so they got time to make new maps and polish it up, but like I say, there's nothing inherently wrong with the game that I can really put my finger on, but at this point it just feels very generic. Now, once I get a chance to try it out with multiplayer, I'll certainly maybe make another video, maybe just, you know, give you a couple tweets about it or update this one, but multiplayer could, of course, change the whole complexion of it, but I would like to see some more interesting stuff. I know there's a boss that I haven't quite gotten to yet, but you know, even the world's coolest boss fight doesn't do any good if the slog to get to it is just kind of generic. But it's good mindless fun for a while, so there is that. Maybe some more elaborate levels with some more pathing. And maybe if they could figure out why i7-4790K with 2 GTX 1080s suffers from frame rate stutter and hitching on this game, that would be great, because that's kind of a problem. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to hit like and subscribe. It helps the channel out. And if you really want to help me out, go check out my Patreon. Link is in the description below, and it's coming up in just a moment. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dimebot. I'll see you next time. Like what you saw? Click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Or click on one of these other videos.